Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I'm Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. Rejoice brothers, because today we are purging Xenos in the name of the Emperor, as Space Marine 40K has finally made its way into VR. Now as you can see, I got a crazy bunch of VR content creators, including Otterworldly, Jay Brad, VR Central, Techman, Genghis VR, and Todd from Q2C. Zero Latency invited us to check out this new experience, and I'm absolutely pumped to tell you all about this experience and a lot more about what they have to offer. Now this video is 100% not sponsored, Zero Latency doesn't know I'm doing this, and overall I found the entire experience to be a must try for anyone interested in VR. So even if you don't think on-location VR is for you, please stick around, I'll explain why it's so important for the overall industry. There'll be links and timestamps for all 4 different experiences that we tried, but let's start things off with Space Marine VR, Defenders of Avarax. Here, up to 8 players will jump into an epic co-op experience where you'll battle through hordes of Tyranids. Now what makes this stand out much more than your typical experience is the game's extremely high production value and its massive room scale sizing. Previously seen the Warhammer universe in VR with Battle Sister, but that definitely didn't do it justice and truly show off the Space Marines in all their glory. This is the highly detailed, brutal Warhammer world we deserve, and everything from those epic weapons to the ferocious enemies looks absolutely fantastic. This is finally the high fidelity experience that Space Marine deserves. The whole team was stomping around calling each other brother.
Yes.
Brother.
Brother.
Brother. Brother.
Brother.
Brother. Oh, they're coming on the sides. Brother. Fight together, brother. Oh, shoot, they're on my 6th brother.
And I have to say the 30+ minute experience was absolutely exhilarating. It's an absolute must try for Space Marine fans. I'm actually quite jealous that we don't get games of this quality for both the Quest or even PC VR. Then again though, it is only 30 minutes, but they make sure to pack in the quality during that time. Now believe it or not, even though Space Marine VR was the most immersive game we tried, it actually wasn't my favorite of the day. But we'll get back to that a little bit later. Next up is a fun little exploration title called Engineerium. This is once again for 1 to 8 players, but only about 15 minutes in length, and you'll basically be just walking around an Aztec-inspired, vibrant world. What makes it special though is they like to turn things around on you. You're going to be walking upside down, around twists, a few corkscrews, and while the sensation can be a bit disorienting, it's also extremely cool. Now I definitely enjoyed this, and it's a lot less physically engaging than some of the other titles, but I also wouldn't recommend it to newcomers because there is a little risk of motion sickness. Now if you're planning to try out these experiences with a bunch of friends, and you'll want to get a bit competitive, I highly recommend Soul Raiders. This is a series of 3 different PvP matches that play out like Payload or Capture and Defend. Teams of up to 4 have to work together to either push a ball across the map or capture some nodes based on the level you're on, and there's actually a surprising amount of strategy in these gameplay modes. Genghis VR was my absolute battle buddy for this one, and we absolutely shut down the other team on level 2. There's nothing quite like shooting some of your friends in the face, or just coming together with your team and kicking some butt. I wasn't expecting to enjoy PvP as much, thought I'd get a little bit too competitive, or maybe get my butt kicked, which definitely didn't happen. But honestly, I think the most fun experience we had for the day was the 8-person co-op zombie shooter, Outbreak. It's your typical waves of zombies, but the adrenaline was extremely high throughout, and you needed to constantly relocate so you weren't overwhelmed. For most of the action, you're divided into 2 teams of 4, but it culminates in an epic boss fight where all 8 of you are in the middle of the action. I honestly didn't think it was going to be this much fun or impressive to someone who spends basically all of their day in VR, but I was wrong. From what I sampled at Zero Latency, this is the game I would most highly recommend, even though I absolutely love Space Marines. Now if you're not sold on an in-person VR experience just yet, I want to spend 1 more minute just talking about some of the aspects that make Zero Latency so special. For starters, this is full room scale, meaning you get to actually run around. There's no artificial locomotion with the fear of motion sickness that comes with it, and you can take things as slow or as fast as you want to. But what was actually much more important to me was the overall production value. Since these are not only short experiences, but also designed to be pretty epic, they can push things like the graphics and immersion to the absolute max. Besides bringing a quest over to a friend's house, this is one of the best ways to introduce people to VR. A few rounds at Zero Latency, and I guarantee some people are going home and picking up a quest. This also gets us away from that whole VR is isolating and makes you feel alone type of scenario. You're going to go there with some friends, it's going to be in person, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And that was today's video, guys. If you have any more questions about Zero Latency, let me know. This was epic. If you want me to cover more experiences like this, again, let me know down in the comments. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing.